Today we're gonna talk about I'm gonna share about the role of IT and automation in retail industry. Since you guys are studying marketing and HR, so I won't talk too much in IT. I'll just talk more in general. Please let me know in chat message if you guys can't understand anything. So let's get started. Okay, about myself, I think you guys know about I studied their systems and HR, the same as you guys. And I worked like more than 12 years, almost 12 years, as you guys already mentioned, and added that Walmart China is my current company. And I worked in different cities. I would say that this is quite different because each city has its own culture. When you live and work in a different city, it's really interesting. I think for me, it's really interesting. Whenever I change my job, I also change my city. And my job mostly in automation and the IT, the C sharp, like developing softwares, apps like that. My hobbies are baking and photography, as well as watching YouTube about the new technology or something new. Like recently, everyone is watching about the renewable energy, like moving out of diesel, like the uh, carbon producing machines or the vehicles to the renewable energy like solar systems like that. So I'm most interested in those. I just want to share some of the pictures I took. Since I love photography, I used to go nearby places and take the photographs. And these places, all of them in Shenzhen. And I also just shared, Shenzhen is the city where I live, and it's also the city of electronic city in the world. I guess most of the digital products are manufactured here. So, and the right side, some of my pizzas and burgers. It's not burgers, sorry, bread. So let's get into the topic today. The role of IT in retail industry. The first and important task of the role of the IT is the management of complex retail operations. Yes, like to manage the retail operations involves a lot of works. In a retail store like Walmart, you have more than thousands of products, and each of the products come from maybe from same, but many suppliers or vendors involved in each products to display in the store. Maybe it's also come from different countries. So to complex all these retail operation, this is very important for IT. And I'm not saying a part of part of the business, IT as a part of the business, but I would like to say this is maybe within the business. IT is very important for all business right now, maybe on all, but 99.99, I would say that. So if we go in detail of the retail operations, the point of sales device management, as you can see in the picture, the right side is the self-checkout systems placed on the retail store. And all of the retail stores have it in big cities like in Shenzhen. Like if you go visit to any supermarket, and you can see these machines, like when you take the items by yourself and then you check out by yourself, no other stops are involved. And management of enterprise applications, since lot of operations involved, and also you could see that a lot of applications are enterprise application like SAP. Is one of the biggest ERP applications like that. All of the applications IT should manage it. And data synchronization is like you have many stores. Let's say China, if we take China, more than 400 Walmart stores in China. So to synchronize the data between the store and also between the headquarters or the warehouses, distribution centers, also to the US or different other countries, these data synchronization must be done and should be in order. This should be facilitated by the ID. Integration and communication. So this is similar like the data synchronization. Since we have different stores and the warehouses, all should be integrated. And since we also involved with many systems, all systems should be integrated and communicated within the systems to make the retail operations smoothly. And the security is one of the key important things, not just for retail, it's for all. It's a core or maybe very important function of the IT to make the data secure or customer information secure, your product information, pricing information, or some information related to your strategy or decision making. All these stored data should be secure in place and provide enough data about business to analyst and management. So since we have the huge organization and huge transactions, so every day is kind of millions of or maybe billions of data or transaction is happening. All the data should be stored and given present to the business analyst or the management um, to what is happening in your business or in your store, or like if you want to see what's happening within all in China, let's say that what product is moving so fast, or like which is the top seller in China, then you should be able to see within a single click, or like it's less amount of work. This should be done by IT and help business for demand and production planning. Demand planning is also a key for the retail, since everyday operations has many products has been sold, so you need to predict the demand for next 1 month or next usually like next 12 weeks or 13 weeks should be done. So you need to make the production or the procurement from the suppliers need to be arranged. So those you need the numbers, and those numbers should be provided by the IT system. Okay, and the next row, I would say that inventory management. Uh, since we have, let's assume that we have the whole country, we are operating the business, then we have the distribution center. Distribution is the center. Let's say that it's a key place in a country for a company. Let's say Walmart, then Walmart have a key distribution center, one or two in a country in China. Then from there, all the goods will be sent to the stores. So maybe or another warehouse nearby the stores, but the key is the distribution center will receive the goods from many suppliers, also from imports from imported from other countries. All this should be in the distribution center. Then it will be sent to the warehouse. From the warehouse, it will be sent to the uh, stores. So all these the goods movement are happening all the time. So all these data should be reflected in the system in real time. So this is very crucial for the business to know that these goods are here and this will be reached there in a certain time. Everything is should be facilitated by the IT systems. And next, streamline warehouse administration. Let's say that the goods moved from distribution center to the warehouse. In a warehouse, you have different rules, or we won't say that different procedure for storing certain item. For example, milk should be placed in the frozen section, and maybe normal pen, pencil, this kind of item no need to be uh, air air conditioned, so it can be placed in anywhere like dry places. So those data all in the systems, like if we have the well streamlined warehouse administration system, then it means an employee of the warehouse, he'll just see the device like your phone, he'll just see that this good should be placed there. Everything will be shown in the system itself. And the last one, distribution center management, like I mentioned before, this is the operation for whole country. So you can imagine how much goods you will get it. So to store and distribute those items is a huge task. So those things will have the software to facilitate for that. Like all 400 stores in China, maybe they plan or they have the internal order to the system, and the system will arrange automatically that this store need this much goods and all this to be transferred. And also you could see in the image there are some robots are handling, like it's called bots or robots, the warehouse robots automatically picking and storing the items. But this is not the 100%. Still, a lot of employees are working manually replacing. But if the if some of the tasks are well structured and have the automation in place for many of the retail companies, I would say all of the retail companies, they are investing a lot in the robots. Yeah. Management of customer facing internal system. Every store need to have their IT systems, retail stores. These days, IT system means apps or websites or other media that customer can place the order directly. After the COVID, and many people try to buy the products online or using their app rather than going into the real store. And these platform include mobile apps, mini programs. Mini programs is a program, is a kind of that you don't need to install, you can directly use it. Maybe you guys know about WeChat. It's popular in China. It's similar like WhatsApp but with more functions. And in WeChat, you can just search, like you want to search Walmart, then you can search and you can order directly without installing the Walmart app. So this is called the mini program. And service accounts where like the customer want to see some information or they want to do some self-service, like invoice generate invoice automatically, or talk with the chat bot. Like if he has any questions, there is some artificial intelligence to answer their questions. So these things will be under service accounts. So these three, I would say, maybe some place they have website, but but in China, if you say that they will customer mostly order from mobile app or mini programs. Or and next one is the next five items is about internal system. um, I just want to list out five. There are many other systems. I just listed out the keys systems. Pricing management. Pricing is very important. Uh, yeah, and as you know, the retail has a lot of products, and you need to maintain price for each, and the price may change. For example, if your product, let's say the fresh or some vegetable, and first day the price will be normal price, but after 3 days you want to sell it out because it's getting older. Maybe the shelf life of the product maybe just 5 days. First 3 days one price, and next 2 days maybe different price, to reduce, give some discount to the customer, that's so that they can buy that. So these changes, also you have some special discounts on some festivals like New Year or Christmas. Those things will be managed in these pricing systems. So pricing systems should be capable of running different promotion, different marketing campaign in the organization. So the pricing systems should be very robust to support all these kind of promotions, not just to the actual or the standard price. Employee maintenance, mostly like big enterprise go for the SAP. It's part of ERP, enterprise resource. So they will use SAP to maintain the employee information, right from hiring to the resignation. Or like every day they have the performance review, like every quarter they have performance review or the self development tracking, all these things done in there. Also the employee data maintenance about your information or and contract information or your bank information to pay the salary, everything is maintained in the employee maintenance. And also it may have some local software, not just SAP. For let's say that in Walmart, like we use SAP globally, but to maintain some part of the HR, we use local system. For example, hiring, we cannot use some of the global, or maybe I think differs in each country. You need to look for different um, websites or partners to work with. So to accommodate local may have some local softwares, but the SAP and other big ERP systems can work together. And real estate management, since retail store is a physical store, but it also have online, but physical stores, mostly that you need to maintain the contracts for your land. Maybe you bought it, and maybe some of the part you haven't used, so you may rent to others. So all these contracts and everything is managed in the real estate management system. And companies mostly use IBM software. Tradeka, it's very much famous. You can see in the right side the picture. And supplier management is also a crucial. Um, uh, I think I want to speed up. Time is getting late. Supplier management softwares and also logistics management software. Logistics to facilitate the transport between a distribution center to the each stores. The software can predict the best route based on the actual traffic data. And also, the home delivery or door delivery is very popular now. So every time your customer orders, maybe the store may receive hundreds of order, and it will automatically assign the delivery guy. Let's say one delivery guy can spend like 10, 15. So it can automatically predict the delivery time and arrange the route. And also it decide how many delivery guys needed. And another important function of the IT is the internal control uh, and audit. And IT should provide rules and regulations about how systems interact, because retail, not just retail, um, I think all other business, most of them have many systems. If the large enterprise have many systems, so we need to have set of rules and regulations on how each system interacts, and this need to be governed. And this is handled by IT. And how the data should be transferred. This also another important factor. For example, if you want to transfer the data within company one network, you don't need encryption. Maybe they still prefer data to be encrypted to be secure. But if you want to transfer the data to outside of the company network, then this should be encrypted. So all these rules is it should be managed by IT and enforced. Governance of sorting and retrieving data. This also another important because in a company they will mostly, but not all the companies are same. They classify the data into three categories. One is the sensitive, non-sensitive, partial sensitive. So there are rules and regulations for each kind of data. For example, sensitive data, you cannot store it in many places, and company just give you provision to store only in one or two places. And the access also will be reviewed frequently. And regular audit on IT systems. So since you have a lot of systems, you need to have the frequent audit to ensure that there is no um, data breach or some problem with the systems, problem in terms of security, privacy, these kind of problems, not the system is not working. That's a kind of maintenance work. But this audit is entirely about how the system is working. Is it have some leak problem, especially when you work with third party softwares. Like nowadays, you could see that many cloud software providers, when you work with third-party vendors, then you need to frequently audit that your company data is secure and the system is not breaching any contract with your company. Like if they do anything beyond your contract, then you need to escalate immediately and fix it as soon as possible. Regular audit on accesses. Accesses, for example, if you're an admin or if you're a like manager, then you have different access than others. So because manager or admin have more access and they have access to many data, and also they have many approval, maybe they can do approve for something which they shouldn't. So these also audit will be done regularly, and also they will remove the access of some resigned employees or some of the vendors who is not working with us anymore. All these to be removed. DevOps, all the new system, all the existing system may go for the enhancement. Maybe the companies will do enhance the system, they spend money, but and also will implement into the system. They will upgrade the system. All of these process needs to follow the DevOps rules. DevOps is a kind of set of rules and phases needs to be followed according to the IT governance. IT need to make sure everything in order before they implement anything new. And SOX compliance, SOX compliance, maybe some of you know, this is the US compliance requirement of storing and using financial data. And this is very important. I think as of now, all the IT departments should compliance with this SOX as per America requirement. So IT system make sure that follow and make sure our company is compliant to the SOX requirement. PCI compliance. Maybe there are many other compliance, but I'm listing out these two because these two are very, very important and serious. Because if we don't follow, our company may get fined by the government. PCI is the personal card information, like credit card information, those information. There will be set of rules and regulations by the government that or by this committee that you need to follow in your organization, especially IT department. Innovation, I would say I just listed out five. So this is the last role I would say for the IT, and also I will cover some about automation. Innovation is also very important. I think nowadays I could see that all the companies are talking about innovation, even the governments, and spending uh, lot of attention. I think innovation received a lot of attention in last 2 years. Before, usually innovation team will be a small team or a one team within an organization, but now it's not the case. Now every functional team has innovation team within it. For example, if you have sales, they have sales innovation like merchandising or or the warehouse. Every team have their own innovation. Like their job is to promote. Maybe we can look at it. So innovate using iterative development, because at first you won't get the best at the first time. So you need to try and fail and try again and improve, and then you get the best one, or you get the new innovative or maybe innovative solutions. So all the companies go for the iterative development or iterative development. So you do it step by step to get the best one, and look for the innovative solutions to solve the existing problem, provide value added services to the customers. So not just within your organization, but you also look outside. If any vendor or any third party company, or is there any other innovative solutions out there that you could make use of it. Collaborate with different location to come up with new ideas. When you have let's say that I just considering retail industry, where retail industry have multiple locations, the stores, everything is placed. So organization encourage people to work with different locations to have a frequent meeting and talk, and maybe somebody can share their problems to other team or other location, and maybe they come up with new ideas to solve the problem. And in my experience, this is one of the routine tasks for many companies, that they share and collaborate with different locations. Learn from others best practices. Here others, I'm not meant within the company, it's outside the company. Let's say that Walmart is the retail industry, but not just Walmart, there are many other countries many other companies outside in the market. Maybe they have the better um, better way of doing things. So you need to learn from your competitors, not just internal organization. So I want to share a project. So maybe I would say that it's called innovation, like e-label project. If you see the picture, you can see it says some details about the product and something. So usually if you go to the supermarket, the price label is just mentioned in the paper, like, but every time the price changes, the employee manually need to go to remove the old sticker or old price label and paste a new one. This costs a lot of time. If you consider that a store has like thousands of products, and you can imagine like it's really hard to manage, and maybe sometime the manual work may have some mistake, maybe they misplaced the label. It creates confusion to the customer. Maybe suddenly they think, well, this product is very cheap, but maybe it's because the employee misplaced the label. These things can occur. The e-label can solve this, and also e-label can facilitate changing the price in a second instead of manually replacing for hours. And and this is how this works is it's like kind of mini tablet. It's just placed there, and the tablet has a screen like our phone. It just shows the price of the that product. And there is another one is a Bluetooth receiver. What the Bluetooth, it just connects this tablet to the server. Maybe the server is placed within the store itself, or maybe the mediator is placed to connect, to facilitate the connection with the server. So it connects to the server, and there's a manager of the store or some employee that can change the price anytime within a second. Okay. Next we gonna talk about automation in retail industry. That will not cost a lot of time. It will be quick. But before that, um, so far we talked about the role of IT. If you have any questions, um, please post in the chat message. I will answer later. Any questions? Okay, so please post in the chat message. I'll just continue. So now we're gonna look at role of automation in retail industry. Now you're gonna ask, what is automation? Automation is also belongs to IT, but I would say why we are looking it in a different place. Maybe you would say that a function of IT, but we are looking it separately because it's not similar, like it's not like other IT solution like app or like website, or it's not like that. It's quite different. And nowadays, like my company is also spending a lot of money in automation. So what is RPA? We call it RPA. What is RPA? It is robotic process automation. It doesn't mean that it's actual robot. It's just a software. The software just automates the software. and it what it does is it mimics means what user is doing, and this software also will do the same. Let's say that user enter the username and password in the Facebook. Let's say they open the Facebook and enter username password and just log in into your account. It does the same. What you do, it also does the same. And UiPath RPA is a company, this producer, one of the software company of RPA software company, and this is one of the leading company in the world. And there are many other companies out there. And another two popular companies are Automation Anywhere and IBM Blue Prism. Maybe these three are the industry leaders for automation software providers. This software nowadays, I think it comes for free. You guys, if you guys interested, you guys can just register online. You can try it by yourself. But uh, these three are, this one is mostly used by the companies, UiPath. What are the benefits of RPA? Why are we doing the automation? Um, the first one, we'd say that human resource saving. Like, let's say if a human is doing the task and then you automate it and you let the robot do it. I mean, software robot, not the actual robot, and software robot will do it. So I mean, like, you don't need to hire one guy to do that work, maybe one or 10 or 100. So you'll just have more robots to do that work. And I would say that since you have more robots is doing instead of manual, because every time if a human is doing the work, there is a chance of errors, and these errors will be improved a lot. I mean, there will be no error if you replace with robot. And since you have savings of human resource saving, you can allocate human resource for value-added tasks rather than the repeating tasks. And efficiency, like I mentioned, like if we automate it, then it's going to be a little bit faster, moreover similar speed as a human, but this will be a little bit faster. At the same time, no error, like error proven or no error. So this will improve the efficiency of the process. Also, you can scale up. For example, now you just handle 100 transaction per day and you automate it. And if you want to move 100 to 1,000 transactions, so you don't need to go for hiring like 10 employees and you need to do the recruitment. It costs you a lot of time. But if you have the RPA, you just buy another 9 robot. They just implement scale up so quickly. Improvement in customer satisfaction. Um, this one I want to add two part. One is because of less error, uh, the result, and maybe here the customer is doesn't mean that uh, not only the external customer, also internal customer, because each organization has a lot of department. If let's say one department is doing one work, but the result output of the work maybe go to other department. So here other department is the consumer or customer of that work. So it also may be directly related to the outside customer. So no matter what, it improves the satisfaction of both because it improves the speed and also without error, it's doing without error. And also another thing I want to mention that um, there will be additional benefits, not just this. Maybe maybe I just keep that part. And next one is high return of investment. Why we say high return of investment? Because we can go for IT solution. Let's say if we want to improve something and we found the automation is the solution. Also, there is another solution we can enhance our system. Let's say that we add a function to our app, mobile app or website. If you take the cost, enhancing the mobile app or website will cost you a lot compared to the automation. Automation will cost you very less because we are not changing anything to the system, and we just repeat what human doing. So that we no need to do any enhancement to the system, and the development cost for RPA is very low, so that you get the high return of investment. And also the implementation time also very quick. Let's say if we enhance the app, it cost you like 2 3 months, I'm just assuming. Then if you go for RPA, it will just cost you 1 month, so you're gonna save 2 months and you already get the return for 2 months. And since we have a lot of benefits, you're gonna say that, can we automate everything in the business? But actually not, we can't. So what are the process or suitable process for the RPA? Repeatable and high volume task. Let's say if a task is very repeatable, if I want to say that booking or the input, the transaction entry, these are all very repeated. Booking will be same, right? You're gonna choose different product, but it will be the same booking. This can be automated. And transaction entry, like you will have the list of items in the Excel, you're gonna input in some other system. So you can automate this process and remove the human effort in that process. So the system can read the Excel directly and then directly input to the another system. So you're gonna remove the manual work. So that's why the repeatable and high volume tasks are the first number one target for RPA. Process with clear logic are standardized and matured. If we go for the RPA, we need to make sure that the logic of the process is very clear. We cannot be like something not non-standardized process into the RPA. Non-standardized means like you set up a new team and they are doing the new process. Maybe there are some issues with the new process, you don't know, like if they work for 2 3 months, then you're gonna have the list of items they have changed or they have faced issues in that process. So they're gonna review those items, they're gonna change the process, there will be new process. Let's say you automated at first month, they start the process, then the automation will be kind of low success or no success because the process is changed, because it's very new and you don't know whether is there any issue or not. That's why we need to choose the process which has clear logic, standardized and matured. And the third one, is also linked with the cost. Process need to be involved with multiple systems. Let's say your process is complex, but still we have a choice whether we need to do automation or we go for the enhancement, system enhancement, like a website enhancement or app enhancement. Since it involves with multiple systems, the cost of doing that enhancement will cost you a lot. So it's preferable, or it's very good to go with RPA to have the less cost on the enhancement. Okay, I think that's it. If you guys have any question, you guys can type. I could see your question.